The Boston Marathon is one of the world's best-known events and attracts amateur and professional runners from around the world. The hilly terrain and occasional bad weather test the physical and mental strength of the competitors. But one area athlete says, bring it on, as he'll be running Monday's race for something much bigger than himself.
Every time I run, I think about Hillary.
On a rural Richland Parish road, Jeff Thomas is not alone.
It's absolutely special to me to run with passion and to run with purpose.
Time, distance, and even dates are a vital metric for long-distance runners like Thomas.
November 6th for a long time for me was what I would like to call a death day. I was just reminded of death, but how can I look at it that way now?
The pastor at Starts Baptist Church has found endurance, strength, and faith in the face of tragedy.
So my first marathon was on the day my daughter died. She would have been 26 years old, so 26 miles, and it was for St. Jude.
8 years ago, Thomas needed a release, and he found it on these dusty roads.
I just realized, okay, I've got to stop this grief, and I got to stop this wallowing in the grief, and I got to do something, not for me, but for somebody else.
On November 6th, 2022, Thomas was struggling to finish his first marathon when he spotted his daughter Katie Beth in the crowd.
And as I got closer to her, I could see her saying, Daddy, you got this. Daddy, you got this. And I was like, no, I don't got this. I'm dying. I want to quit. And she said, no, this is why you're doing it. And she held up that picture and she said, here, Daddy, take this with you.
Jeff ran the last mile and a half with his oldest daughter's picture in his arms.
You know, I had her in my heart already, but to have that picture in my hand, tangible, I kept looking down at it going, okay, I can do this.
As Thomas posed for pictures, he had a revelation.
I remember crossing that finish line saying, okay, Hillary, this was for you. God, thank you, but no more.
This St. Jude hero may not wear a cape, but he has a purpose. Jeff has now completed 7 marathons.
I think about those kids, I think about those families, and I think about kids who may never get the chance to do what I do and to run like I run.
Thomas's next step, to represent St. Jude in the Boston Marathon.
I didn't have anything to lose, so I applied, and then I asked her, well, how many people get to run? She said 5. I said, well, how many applications are being, submitted? She said, well, it'll be several thousand. Let us run with endurance the race God has set out for us.
So imagine Jeff's surprise when his phone rang last fall on November 6th.
I just believe God redeemed that day for me. A day that had been hard for many, many years in my life. God blessed me with a beautiful daughter. She had life, she still has life. And now today, I look at that as a life day.
As Jeff wraps up his final days of training,
I got to pinch myself maybe to say that I am running it.
His legs are fit and his heart is full.
Yeah, that was special to know that I was doing it for her and doing it for St. Jude.
That is Jeff's story. What is yours? I'd love to tell it. Just drop me an email at aaron.dietrich@knoe.com.